Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to my channel. I am Frank, and I'm optimistic for you, and I want to thank you for joining me here for another video on the amazing subject of numerology, the mystical language that finds the meanings behind the numbers in our name and our birth path, and the experiences, then the lessons we're here to learn in this incarnation as expressed through those numbers. For your first-time viewers, I welcome you to the channel. I hope you're going to enjoy and be inspired by what we're going to hear tonight. I have other videos that you can catch up on if you are new to the channel about the meanings of numbers and how to make your own chart and some other stuff you can check out in the catalog of my videos, and I hope you'll find them helpful in your journey and beginning to understand the meanings and the power of numbers that affects our lives. Today's video is about a subject. Well, let me start by saying this. I was kind of figuring out, I hadn't made a video here in a little bit, and I was trying to figure out what direction to go in next with the subject of numerology. And there are a number of ways I could have gone, but one thing I wanted to do was kind of tailor a video to a specific audience. I normally don't do that. I just kind of make it generic. But I've been thinking lately how sometimes, like I watch a lot of videos on YouTube about tarot readers and other kinds of readers for people. And it seems like their energies, while they are expressed in terms of any viewer under, let's say, under that sign, if you're like I'm a Cancer, if you see a reading about a Cancer or a Leo or something, that the readings and the energies and the visions expressed in terms of expressing the energies that you're trying to interpret, to communicate to the viewer, seems to be it's subconsciously, but it seems to be happening, that it's geared toward a viewer assumed to be either in their youth or in the prime of life. And I think it does sometimes not reflect the needs and the energies of seniors. And I decided to think, that really seems like an underserved audience. And so I wanted to create a video where my message and my whole video purpose was to focus in on the experience of senior citizens, okay? People not presumed to be at the beginning of life or in the middle of life with a whole super long future ahead, hopefully, if you stay in good health, God willing. But people who have already experienced most of their life, that 2/3 of their lifetime has passed, basically. And for the sake of the video, I'm kind of defining senior citizens as 55 or older, because in numerology, the cycles of life, we have 3 cycles of life on our birth path. There's your birth month, birth day, and birth year. And each one of them is a cycle with a specific duration of lessons and experience you're here to learn. The first number is the cycle of your youth and from birth to like late adulthood, okay? The second cycle, the birthday cycle, is really the midlife section of time covered, and it usually lasts a maximum of 18 years. And so the final cycle of your life, which is represented by the year you are born, is the permanent energy that you're going to be writing out the rest of your life on this incarnation, from the time ranging at the most from age 54 and potentially earlier than to age like 47 or so. So you can be in that energy starting as early as age 47 and as late as age 54, 55. And that's why I consider that being a senior, and in a lot of circles, senior citizens are deemed to be around 55 or 50 or 60. That final year energy is the energy we conclude our life cycle in this incarnation. So I wanted to direct the message about the meanings of the numbers relating to your final cycle of life, because you're in that final third of your journey on the transit of this amazing thing we call life on I call it Outpost Earth, because I mean there are many levels of dimensions and planets and previous incarnations where they could have been experienced in other realities, other dimensions and things like that. But here on Outpost Earth, this amazing planet with the beautiful, beautiful natural world and the amazing introduction of human experience and consciousness into that life has created challenges and opportunities and experience potentials for the human soul as it traverses its journey through infinity, growing and evolving in ever higher ascendancy toward divinity and reuniting with the total universe and the collective of the universe. So anyway, getting back to like the reality of all that, of what I want to talk about, I'm focusing this video on seniors. And if you're younger or you're a cross-watcher, what we call cross-watcher, someone watching on behalf of somebody else, you're welcome here. I want to thank you for being here today. I'm ImUpToMystic. I'd like to have you be sure that if you like what you're seeing or what you're going to be hearing, I hope you'll consider subscribing and hitting the like icon there. That really helps me grow the channel, or sharing it with your friends, okay? And like I said, if you're not familiar too much with numerology, I have other videos which explain more of it there. And, I hope you'll find those interesting. But tonight I'm focusing on the seniors in the audience and the meaning of the final cycle of life and what to expect, or what they have been experienced on this final push toward the end of incarnation in this lifetime. So let's begin. To find out what your cycle number, all you have to do is what it says right up here at the top. Your final cycle number is your year of birth reduced to a single digit. So just take the numbers of your birth, and it's going to be, in your case, 19 something, whatever it is. So at least 1960 something, right? And any time prior to that as well. So take those numbers, the 1, the 9, and whatever those final 2 digits are, add them up, and they'll reduce to probably a double-digit number. And then take that double-digit number and reduce it to a single digit. And that single-digit number will reflect the cycle energy you will be experiencing on this final part of your journey in senior citizen age or old age or whatever we want to call it, our final push. It's still an exciting, exhilarating, beautiful part of life, yet to bring everything to a completion on this amazing journey we've had in this lifetime. Okay? So let's get into it. If after you've reduced these numbers, let's talk about your particular energy based on that number. If your number of your final cycle reduces to the number 1, the final cycle of your life will be a new beginning, a beginning in the ending. Okay? It's a chance to start over and like a reboot of everything encountered in the previous 2 cycles of your life. Whatever those energies were based on your birth month and birth day, you can calculate that yourself. And then knowing what the number means, you can apply that information on understanding what those first 2 cycles of your life were about. So having transited those first 2 cycles, you start the final cycle, and if you have the number 1 as that final number, this is a new beginning even as the last part of your life. It's a time to explore possibilities, maybe unexperienced possibilities that other energies that needed attention in the prior cycles are now freeing you up to be free to experience, because number 1 is the number of self, the number of beginnings, the number of leadership, the number of action, the number of engagement, the number of purpose and energy and movement toward new positive experiences. So if you're under the energy of number 1, this final cycle will be a great time to explore all the possibilities of your own life and your own desires and wants, based on your own action, on your own volition, your own direction of all of your hopes and dreams and desires, whether it's a continuation of an energy that you already had, but manifesting now in a new rebirth and rebooting of that energy, or if you've decided that what's done is done, and now it's time to think of you. Number 1 is about you. This is you time. Maybe for the first time in your life, maybe not. Depends on all the other numbers, of course. Everything is a nuanced engagement of these numbers. But it's a great chance for you to explore the world, to explore your own inner world, your feelings, your thoughts, to be independent, to be a leader, or put yourself in a position of leadership where you're taking charge, maybe not just for yourself, but for others. A great time to give of yourself, volunteer, be the head of some new enterprise or activity, whether it's a job, a volunteer situation. It's a chance for you to shine. It's a chance for your own will to step forward. Now, that's when it's manifesting positively. What we don't want, hopefully, is that negative aspects of these energies are manifesting in your life. If your number one energy is manifesting in a negative way or in a less positive way, it could be a period of time of great loneliness, of isolation, of a feeling of being left out in the cold by others, because number one stands on its own. It's the number requiring strength and courage of purpose and self. So don't allow that negativity to hold you back from really leveling up that number one energy so that you can explore this new exciting beginning that, having mastered 2/3 of your life, you're now free to explore on your terms. Whether you're single or married with a family or a group, you're the one who can take the leadership role in bringing others into your new vision of what you want for your life and the adventures you want to explore, whether it's travel or investigating, researching, writing that autobiography of your life or that book of poems or that novel or starting that painting, the artistic projects you put behind, or mechanical projects, starting to find that vehicle you want to construct from scratch. Whatever is in your wheelhouse, emotionally, however you're wired, whether it's aesthetically, mechanically, materially, intellectually, this is the great time. Cooking, if you want to explore new recipes, new ways of take cooking classes, travel to take cooking classes. I mean, it's limitless, the possibilities. But the point is, it's all driven by the energy of self, of number one, which is the male principle acting on the world. So it's an exciting period of your last part of your life with a great chance to finally do the things that make you happy on your terms. So if you have that number one, that's what you can count on for this final part of your life. Okay? Now, for seniors with the number two, when your number reduces to the number two, whether it is a pure number two or it reduces to an 11 before it reaches to a number two. Number two energy means that the final part of your life will be a great period of harmonization where you're going to find sensitivity and emotion stepping to the forefront of your life. It's a great time for artistic pursuits where you're harmonizing the energies of others. It's a very nurturing period of time and it's a great time to surrender your own, maybe some of your deeper personal wants for the sake of being a companion, a partner, like again, the word harmonizer comes to mind, the diplomat, whether in all your relationships, in your connections to all the people you love, into your encounters with the world. But you'll find your life will be highly sensitized and you're going to be responding to all kinds of new feelings and emotions, and which can manifest in beautiful ways where you can join into partnerships with friends and family, whether it's in starting a new business as a partner with somebody else, or being a travel partner for a friend or a family member or a spouse. You're going to be the one enjoying surrendering, letting someone else do the heavy lifting while you become the beneficiary of those efforts. But in return, you give love, support, harmonization, uplift, completion, and conclusion to other people's energy. You're the force that reconciles everything. It's a great period where you're going to feel loved, protected. I mean, you may feel a little frustrated because oftentimes, sometimes your own wants and needs may be put into the background at the behest of other stronger energies. But if you open your heart purely to the positivity of those energies, you're going to find a beautiful period of harmonization, joy, sensitivity, a great time to do something artistic, whether it's writing, painting, playing an instrument, doing something where grace and beauty and aesthetic understanding comes into play. Excuse me. something that brings joy and harmony, and that illuminates the lives of others around you and brings harmony and uplift to others. It's a great time to experience those things. It's a great time to take that back seat, like I said, and let the stronger energies come to you. It's a period of attraction where opportunities maybe not even imagined may suddenly present themselves to you, because 2 is a highly magnetic and attracting number. So it'll be a wonderful, wonderful time to experience some wonderful things you might never have had to and never even have thought about going to pursue, because suddenly they'll show up in amazing ways in your life. But you're going to have you're going to feel happiest when you're doing things with others. That's the number 2. The number 2 wants to be the partnering, harmonizing agent. So if you're not feeling it yet, or in the early part of it, the movement is in that direction. Now, if you're manifesting kind of the negative aspects of it, it can make you sensitive to a fault, can make you nitpicking, can make you nervous, perhaps maybe have some emotional potential problems, or perhaps depression can be a manifestation of number 2, because all the emotions are heightened during this transit of number 2, and deeper sensitivities are tapped into. So be prepared for those kinds of experiences. In your case, they can be temporary. You need to understand that this is just a movement, that you're now the agent and the recipient and the manifester of this highly sensitized feminine energy that needs to find a larger purpose through something else, because you're complete within yourself. But the satisfaction for the number 2 comes in giving, in being available to others, in being fulfilled by being the partnering force with a more energetic, active force that you harmonize, reconcile, and bring to fulfillment, all the engagement of activity together. So anyway, if number 2 is the final number of your cycle, great time for creativity, great time to learn more about your aesthetic side, your feminine side, if you're a man, if you're a woman, to get more and more involved in other deeper, sensitive desires of your own part, to be a better partner, a closer friend, a chance to make yourself open and less feeling vulnerable. Vulnerability is not a weakness. Let me tell you that. Vulnerability is confidence and strength. When you're okay with yourself emotionally, like during the transit of the number 2, when you know who you are and you understand the energies at work there, it's the most empowering feeling in the world to open yourself up to other people without fear of being victimized. You got to protect yourself, of course, but don't be afraid to be vulnerable and open to the people you care about the most, because the most magnificent experiences will come when you make that vulnerability open to others, while you keep your own sense of your self-worth and your self-value always in the forefront of your mind and your heart. Anyway, could be a beautiful, beautiful period of time for you during the last years of life under the influence of number 2. Now, if you're manifesting the number 3 is the number of self-expression, the number of the star, the number of the performer, the number of language and creativity. Anything to do with the arts is super emphasized here. Creativity, social grace, great time to entertain, to enjoy the fruits of social interaction. It's a great time to party with friends, to express everything you are on the inside, to be the prima donna, to be the center of attention, and to be conscious of it and embrace it and enjoy it. Because this is, if you have the blessing of a number 3 as the final cycle, it is a beautiful time of creative expression where the fullness of your life can come and be manifested through the interaction and engagement with friends and other environments that allow you to step forward and shine, to present your vision of all the things that you felt and experienced through life, to engage people in conversation, share stories, share just the joy of interaction in all kinds of social settings or creative settings. It's a great time to maybe get involved with an artistic effort, whether it's joining an actors group or playing an instrument in a little group, or performing, let's say, at a coffee house, in an open mic night, reading your poetry, reading your novel, sharing the language of expression and not being afraid to get up there and understand life is a stage for you in this final part of your life. So embrace the number 3. It's full of tremendous energy and tremendous beauty, the sparkling force of friendship and engagement again with other like-minded souls who see the joy of living and the fruits of life and enjoy the pleasure of every aspect and layer of social engagement, interaction, beautiful home environment, beautiful music to enjoy, beautiful food to eat, great conversation, pleasures of the mind, of the spirit, of the body, pleasures of all kinds embraced through self-expression and creativity. So it's a great period of time to enjoy yourself. If it's manifesting to the negative, though, you got to be careful because number 3 is so dynamic and so versatile, you may find yourself scattering a lot of energy. Number 3 has to be careful not to scatter energy nilly-willy or willy-nilly. Or either illy or willy. But no, you got to be careful of that because you feel like you want to have so many things on your plate that you might do many things only to accomplish few. So the thing is, focus on the things that matter the most to you. Engage some discipline into it in order to keep you focused so that you can perfect and bring that performance capacity within you to its fullness, to its completion, and that's because you're engaging it on its own terms with all your heart and soul and spirit. So don't have too many pans and too many fires during that time. Also, you can tend to be a little bit more, come across as sometimes being a bit more superficial if you allow these kind of more superficial aspects of the social engagement dynamic and get into your work where the minutiae of stuff of pettiness and criticisms and things like that can start intruding into the social dynamic and can undermine the beauty of those normally wonderful social things. So again, the negative number 3 can manifest as being scattered, dissatisfied with not getting the attention you feel you deserve. You've got to pick your spots and be the star when it's the right moment, but always be ready to step onto that stage and perform when you're under the energy of the number 3. So we're going to go to the number 4 in just a second. Okay, sorry about that. Had to take care of a little something. We left off at the number 4. Number 4, if the final cycle of your life reduced to the number 4, it's going to be a period of time where you're going to find yourself very active. Number 4 is the number of matter. It's the number of the earth, the number of the 4 seasons. It's the number of the 4 directions. It's earthbound. It's work. It's discipline. So if you've avoided work in the early part of life or paying attention to the details of pragmatics matters, it's a period of great pragmatism, practicality, facing the earthly details of the material, mundane aspects of life. Not necessarily mundane, but I mean the real nuts and bolts of existing, whether that's being responsible for a household, doing work on making sure the business of life is running smoothly. Now, it can also manifest as endurance and physical activity. If you're under a number 4, it's a great time to work on your physical well-being. Okay, great time to start ramping up your exercise regimen. It's a great time to try new projects that you want to do. Greatly detailed kind of work is really highlighted under the number 4 because number 4 is really focused on detailed work and accomplishing tasks and getting things done. It's the number of it'll feel perhaps sometimes kind of confining because number 4 is nose to the grindstone, putting the blinders on and dealing with the task at hand. It may make you seem to others like you're really kind of regimented and overly disciplined about many things, but that's because that's the energy of number 4. Number 4 forces the energy focus and the cycles and the and the intensity of self to give toward the physical aspects of life, and in a much more mundane, disciplined, rudimentary fashion. So you'll find yourself engaging in very disciplined behaviors. If you've avoided that in the past, it could be problematic for you too. If you don't have any 4s in your name or in earlier numbers on your birth path, it may be a kind of rough go. You're going to maybe feel like yourself being constrained or held back, because number 4 energy says, hey, pay attention, follow the details, do the work that needs to be done. Things won't happen for you unless you deal with the business of life and all of the nuts and bolts, like I said, of the process of existing. Now, it's a great time, though, to build a solid, to revisit the foundational aspects of your life. You know, what your values mean to you, home life, finances, travel, reevaluating the foundational aspects of who you are and how you view this final part of your life, making things work for your security and well-being, so that foundationally all of those things that build personal security for yourself and your family is entrenched there, and making sure that you focus on those details. Don't take the shortcuts. Do the work that needs to be done, and discipline yourself and move forward. So it can be very rewarding from in terms of the satisfactions of accomplishment on an earthly plane in a material sense. So number 4 energy manifests that way. And like I said, the negative side is when you may feel constrained, confined, held back from some of the freedoms you'd like to express. Bottom line is, you've got to do the detail work. That's the key of number 4. Even late in life, practical concerns will come to the forefront. You'll look at everything through the prism of, what do I need to do to make life work properly? Physical health, well-being financially, material surroundings, comfort, and all the other things that go into making life livable and gratifying and fulfilling from a foundational basis, okay? So that's number 4. Let's move to the number 5. Number 5, if your number reduces to number 5. Number 5 is the number of the senses. It's the number of man. We have 5 fingers. We have 5 extremities, 5 extent. It's the number of chance, of change, of flexibility, of the unexpected, of challenges, of chance, of possibility. So if the final number vibration of your cycle for the final part of your life, senior, is number 5, boy, get ready. It's going to be a wild ride. Number 5 is going to want change. Number 5 is material the way number 4 is, in the sense that it's a physical, earthy number. But the difference is number 4 is more mundane in its expression. And by mundane, I don't mean dull or boring. I just mean it's much more rigid and fixed. Number 5 is materiality, but infused with sensory response and consciousness. So it's physical, but it is amplified through the consciousness and the volition of sensory response to matter and to the world of matter, which means all things on the earth, whether it's human, man-made, natural, whatever, all the intrigues, all the dynamics of our conscious engagement with sensory reality on earth. So it's a great period of time for you to travel. You're going to have lots of interesting experiences, unusual experiences. Opportunities will present themselves out of the unexpected. You may have unexpected conflicts. The thing is, expect the unexpected. You may find yourself changing residences a number of times, because the desire of the number 5 is for the new, for somehow you want to shake things up. 5 is not a number of the stability of number 4. Number 4 looks to stabilize and to regiment and to, let's say, foundationalize everything. Number 5 is already got those foundations in place, and it kind of gets bored and tired of them. So it wants to expand and take off and experience new things and enjoy all the range of human experience. All the appetites will be amplified. Even in old age, you're going to find yourself enjoying food, enjoying drink, enjoying physical activity. And, you're going to be very, very physically engaged. You're going to enjoy contact with all kinds of people. Sexual appetites will probably still be in full force, because number 5 is all of those human appetites, all those sensory responses that make us human are amplified, intensified, and looking for an outlet. So it's a great period of time to enjoy a whole bunch of stuff. So if you're feeling that with a number 5, go with the flow. That's the message of number 5. Go with the flow, because you're open to change. But the thing is, don't turn your back on the things that need to be done to keep your life solid, have the foundational stuff. That's the negative part of number 5, is that it wants to sometimes escape at any cost, okay, and get away just for the sake of, or make changes just for the sake of changing, not moving towards something, but sometimes moving away from something. And that moving away from something isn't the reason to make changes. The reason we should make changes is because we want to move towards something. So try to use that as your anthem, so to speak, that when you make the changes or you make these moves, they're moving toward experiences that will elevate your sense of yourself, will excite your senses, will be rewarding, will broaden your vision of the human condition and the human experience, and go with the flow of it all, because it's going to be a time that from the time it begins in that last cycle to the day you die, you're going to still be engaged with life fully, all your passions, all your appetites. So go with that flow, enjoy all the appetites, enjoy the experiences, but always remember, do it in a positive manner so that you don't harm yourself or the people you love by making decisions that are rash, impulsive, spontaneous, without a positive reflection and a positive direction to move to, rather than just running away from, okay? So that's the energy of number 5, if that's your last cycle. If your last cycle is the number 6, this will be a great period of love and family and commitment and duty and responsibility. It'll also bring what I call the high protection. It's a very, in a way, sanctified number. It's blessed by the divine. If you do the work of the obligations you're required to master, and to the burdens and the duties and the responsibilities, the nurturing, the loving, the caring, or the engagement as the banner bearer for a cause. It's a great period of time to rediscover family. Family will move to the forefront if you're married and have children, or if you have interests outside the home in causes, in purposes, volunteering, giving of yourself to community groups or other forms of engagement. The thing is, duty and responsibility and a sense of purpose through surrender of self to give to others is really going to be the impulse of number 6. And again, it may seem like many burdens will be taken on or will be thrust in your direction, sometimes unwanted burdens, but that's the vibration of number 6. It's the number of that obligation, of the parent, of the nurturer, of the leader of the cause, of the person who will take on the responsibility unafraid, because they have great personal courage and great fortitude and can be relied on to reach the goal of that purpose. But it's especially beautiful in a domestic environment with your family. You will have the love of family around you always with the number 6. You will have the protection of that love by the divine. Great heartwarming moments will come. The deepest experience will come through you when you give of yourself to others and see the bonds you have built through that nourishing that you have given over the years to the people, reflecting that love back at you. It's just a beautiful, engaged energy, but it is challenging because responsibilities and obligations are expected to be honored, taken on with a positive and upbeat attitude, with the purpose of recognizing that this is the force of destiny at work in the last part of your life to make you reach a higher purpose, whether that purpose is to be the strength of a family or the person who gives his effort to a cause that he embraces or to a community group that he values their community service. Service responsibility, and duty will be the great satisfying forces if you have a number 6 as the final part of your life, whether that's service to your family, service and obligation to friends or to coworkers if you're still working. If you do work, you may want to take on a job which has a higher purpose, has a cause that you're helping, maybe be the first time to really seek out the kind of employment that would give you the chance to fulfill yourself as a giving person in a cause-related job situation, whatever that may be. But it can be a beautiful, beautiful energy, and if you embrace embrace that obligation that is required as part of the vibration of the number 6, it will be a beautiful period. Otherwise, you are going to feel imposed upon. You're going to feel browbeaten by life. You're going to feel that you want to run away from burdens that are not your own. But it's a great chance to discover the courage and strength and the incredible nurturing capacity that you have inside your heart and soul that life is offering you to express in this final cycle. So that's the number 6. Number 7 is the number of the mystic, the number of the thinker, the researcher, the analyzer. It's a great period of anyone who is fascinated with the deeper things of life, whether it's religion, philosophy, art, mathematics, science. All of those kinds of things are intensified, the desire to learn more, to know more, to go beneath the surface. Because number 7 is about seeing the other layers of the scaffolding of the paradigms that prop up this apparent existence in front of it. This physical world that looks like it's all that it is. It's just this matter in front of us. But no, there's these underlying paradigms, and systems which really are at the foundation that prop up all of reality. And that's only uncovered the way a scientist understands, or a mathematician understands, the mathematical, chemical, physics, formulaics of the world, of the universe, let's say, as an example, or whether it's looking into the intellectual understanding, the greater inner penetration of philosophical thought, of research, of analyzing a subject, of going deeper into beneath the surface of what is apparent knowledge into deeper, whether it's spiritual knowledge, intellectual knowledge, scientific knowledge, or religious knowledge. It's all about going into the depths, going inward. Rather than being a number that encourages outward activity, although it doesn't deny outward activity, you'll find the greatest satisfactions come in from your own exploration, not only of the inner workings of your own mind and your own self, but the embracing of the outer realities, seen through the prism of the analysis of seeing deeper layers beneath surfaces of things. It's an incredibly rich, rewarding period, a great time to come up with a new understanding of the paradigms of the world, of reassessing spiritual values, of reassessing your understanding of what your journey through life has been about. It's about seeing, again, the archetype of everything. It's going to more abstraction. It's moving away from the tangible material to abstraction, to system, to paradigm, and through structure. And the excitement of discovering deeper layers of whatever your interest might be, whether it's music or art or mechanics or math, like I've talked about. It's a great time to go back to school if you'd like to go learn on other subjects. Learning is really featured as an exciting thing. But you're going to be, during the number 7, you're going to be looking for people who share your depth of vision into the deeper meanings of things in life. You're going to shy away more from superficial contact. Not to say you won't be engaged in social environments, but it's just going to be your bent talent and your ilk will be, you want to meet people who are interesting, fascinating, who are deep in terms of their own intellectual capacities, or are highly sensitive and intuitive and understanding of many other layers, because that is going to be your new field of engagement under the number 7. It could be a beautiful, beautiful time to explore areas of existence and experience and knowledge that maybe you didn't have the time to before, but in greater detail, whatever that passion is, to develop a hobby, to immerse yourself in a subject in some way that you never had the time before. So it's a great, great time to explore the deeper part of who you are and see the world through a prism that you never saw before, because now your heart and mind and spirit can be open to giving the time to see how things really are in the underpinnings of this amazing thing we call existence. So that's the positive side, number 7. If it's negative, it can manifest as being intolerant, kind of cold, aloof, detached. So you got to find a balance under the number 7. Number 7 needs to withdraw because it's easily disrupted by irritating energies, or superficial energies, and it wants to find the more fine energies of life, more subtle energies of life. So oftentimes you can get easily distraught by other people around you who aren't in the same vibratory level as you. And so you got to guard against that, because you want to be able to still engage, because there's always knowledge and experience to be gleaned that will add to your reservoir of understanding of what it is your journey is about during the transit of number 7, okay? So try not to let those negative aspects, depression is another thing, where you get so lost in yourself that you're unable to relate to the outer world, and it can lead to this feeling of isolation, depression, whatever. So try to not let that get the best of you, okay? But number 7 is a beautiful manifesting number for much deeper and richer experience, okay? Number 8, if you're under the influence of number 8 in the last cycle of your life, it's all about money, about flexing your muscles of your personal authority, your personal power. It's a great period to understand the workings of finance better, maybe to start investing. Most people will start investing, but not be afraid to learn investing, about how to best use the resources you've worked a lifetime to engage in. Now you may be given the freedom in retirement, or even if you're still working, to really, really explore ways to maximize your capacity to make your resources work for you. A great time to buy real estate, a great time to invest in stocks, a great time to learn about other financial possibilities inside yourself, because you're going to be fascinated by ways to make money. You're going to be wanting to exert your personal authority. Whatever you do, you're going to bring the flair of your own administrative and executive skills that will kind of start manifesting themselves, whether it's managing your household in a different way than you had before, because now you're seeing it as almost an enterprise, living the final part of your life, or whether it's actually taking your financial capacities to the next level. Number 8 is all about money, finance, personal power, and all the trappings of the richness of wealth and abundance that you've earned over the course of a lifetime, and a chance to manifest, express it, to make money. Money will come, money will go. You'll probably be very much the kind of a person who will also spend money under a number 8, because number 8 wants to have the things it wants when it wants it through using the resources it has. So there's this sense that you're of a kind of entitlement, a personal authority entitlement that lets you, express your will and desire through money, land, financial assets, other material assets or resources, okay? So number 8 is all about the power. Enjoy it, but be careful. Don't make just arbitrary investment. Do the research, do the work. And when you do, you're going to have a tremendously abundant final part of your life where you, your spouse, and your family can enjoy the fruits not only of the life you've provided them all those years, but now can have the resources to express every desire, to obtain the things that give meaning to your life, to travel, to enjoy the best food you want to enjoy, to not let money be the barrier to those kind of things, okay? It's the way You've earned it, and it's the chance for you to really be the example of that to your family and your loved ones and the friends and other people in the world, no matter what you do. And it's also a good time if you do get involved with other enterprise, whether as a continuing work situation or in a volunteer situation. Take a leadership role. You're a natural executive. Your natural executive instincts are heightened during the transit in number 8. So don't be afraid to go out there and be the boss, be the man. Don't be bully, but be the man, and don't be afraid to show other people how what got you to where you are is going to work for them now that you're going to be involved with them, because that number 8 is a magnificent manifester of abundance, opulence for everybody, top to bottom, in any organizational operation and whatever. Okay? So enjoy it. It's going to be a great cycle. And finally, the number 9. In numerology, if you've seen other videos or whatever, there are 9 basic numbers, 1 to 9. If 1 is the number of self, 9 is the number of selflessness. 9 is a completion cycle. If you have number 9 as the final cycle of this life, then you're going to find something coming full circle. You're going to find your emotions heightened and intensified. 9 is the number of selflessness, of the humanitarian. Higher ideals will step up in your mind. You're going to be more empathetic with other people. You're going to see the arc of your life in a much larger capacity. 9 is the finisher. You will be able to look back. 9 is also a number of nostalgia, of the sense of, again, because it is so imbued with the energy of completion that you're going to find a great period of time where you're going to have tremendous appeal to so many people. You're going to be there. You're going to be there to give to others. It's a great time to give of yourself in the way the number 6 does, but with a different, more universal humanitarian vision rather than the more personal, domestic, self-directed kind of selflessness of the energy of 6. 9 is much more of open to others. It's a period of time where you can get involved and provide dynamism to any social environment you're in, because people reach out to you. They feel your kindness, your warmth, your empathy. So it's a great time to cultivate more friendships, to cultivate more engagements out in society. If you do get involved in organizations, the desire to be of service and help is really amplified during a number 9. It's a great time to travel. 9 is the universal. It wants to embrace the world. It wants to explore new cultures, new experiences, new places, just like the number 5 in that respect. It's broad and expansive, and its appeal is across all cultures, all age groups, all things. So 9 is the great expresser of love and kindness in the world, because it completes the human journey of experience from selfishness to selflessness. That's really the arc of these 9 numbers. It's an intensification and amplification of the journey of the soul, mastering experience, moving from self-knowledge, self-empowerment, ultimately to selflessness and giving, the higher form of human presence, of human activity, where we take away our own identities for the sake of being of service to humanity, to putting ourselves secondary to the needs of others. Now, if it's manifesting somewhat negatively, you may find that you may feel like your own emotions are being ignored by others. 9 is kind of the mirror energy. I always talk about that. If you add 9 to any number in numerology, the number 9 disappears, and the remaining number is the number that came in contact with 9. So if 5 meets the number 9, you add them together. 5 and 9 is 14, right? 1 and 4 is 5. So you're back to the number 5. What happened to the number 9? Disappears, because 9 is the inclusion number of all numbers. It's like every energy sees itself reflected in the beauty of the mirror energy of number 9, which is the mirror of all humanity entrenched in selflessness. Again, a challenging number if you've, especially if earlier cycles have been more self-centered energies at work. You have to learn to let go of more of the demands of self and find a greater fulfillment through self-surrender to others or to the people you love, or to be available, or to recognize that what will come to you and be the most fulfilling and satisfying will be the times when you're giving of yourself, when you're making yourself accessible and available to either the people you love or the people you choose to serve, whether it's through a social group or a cause or whatever. But it's a beautiful, beautiful energy with great possibilities to experience so much through travel, through human contact, and through giving and service to other people and elevating your ideals to a higher level of fulfillment. So it's a very, very beautiful thing. Anyway, dear senior, the final cycle of life doesn't have to be just a death sentence. It's still got things to learn. I watched a play once on PBS, and the title of the play was about a real old-aged woman. It was a beautiful story. It was Dame Weller. I forget her first name. I can't remember her first name right now. But the title of the play was All Passion Spent. And one of the quotes from it was, all passion spent, all appetites gratified. Well, old age is only that way when you're at the end, when you're ready to leave the earth. Up until then, the passions can still be ignited and the appetites can still be gratified. So don't let yourself fall prey to feeling that the end of life is the end of who you are and what you're capable of loving, enjoying, and experiencing. Bring that childhood innocence of your early cycles of your life forward into your senior life, and the beauty and joy of experience will come to a fullness that we've never realized. This is in many ways, as they say, it is the best part of life. If you're fortunate enough not to be in bad health, which obviously health is number one, but if you're fortunate enough to have your health, embrace the gifts of your experience of this great time we're living in. Yes, problematic times, difficult times, but let love be the energy inside of your heart and your spirit that ignites your passions, ignites your appetites, that connects you and binds you not only to the life you have yet to live, but to the life you've already lived, and see the fullness and the richness of everything you are and everything you have been. Because you are unique and special on this planet, and your journey is a gorgeous, gorgeous journey of love and growth and experience, filled with challenges and hardships, but filled with such reward and beauty that we have nothing to fear. We have nothing to fear as long as we live with love and love of ourselves and love of the possibilities of ourselves in our heart. So let me end on that note. And if I may, I'd like to do a little plug. As you can see right over here, there's this cover icon. This is the cover of my book of poetry. I am, besides being a numerologist, I am a poet. And this is my volume of collective poems, which I'm very proud of. It's called The Au Revoir of an Enormous Us. It's available at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. It's my whole lifetime's work. It's a substantial volume, almost 500 pages, poems of love, sorrow, remembrance, of my journeys through life, of imaginative voyages of the spirit, of the mind, of the heart, literary exercises, joy of discovering language and the power of words and feelings and thoughts. And I hope you'll consider giving it a look at Amazon or at Barnes & Noble. Again, my name is Frank Yosway. I'm ImUpToMystic. This volume is my life's work again. And as another thing I want to mention, inside, since you might be interested in the occult, assuming that, and in metaphysics, since you're here studying numerology, I'd like to draw your attention a whole series of poems called the Arcane Reveries, which are poetic sketches and meditations on the cards of the major arcana, beautifully illustrated and told from the point of view of perhaps the card itself, the character in the card, or on the energies understood from the cards. It's just about a 50, 60-page section of this volume, which you might find personally compelling, especially if you're interested in the occult. And I will be doing a video on the numerology of the tarot cards in a future video. But anyway, I hope you'll do me the honor of checking out my book for me, and hopefully you can take a look inside on Amazon, find out a little more about my background. Hopefully, if you find it worth your while, it's not an expensive volume, and I hope you would enjoy and do me the honor of considering a purchase. And I thank you again for your time. I hope this this video was meaningful, illuminating, exciting, and engaging. Again, if you like what you see in here, please subscribe, like, and share. I don't reach a lot of people, but everyone, if I touch one soul with some bit of knowledge or experience that elevates your life, that illuminates some darkness inside of you, that triggers a spark of joy in you again, I'm doing my job, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be that agent of joy for you. Thank you for allowing me into your world for a little while. I just want to leave with a couple of thoughts. One is that remember that it's all in the numbers and that we only live once at a time. So again, many thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you'll be here for my next one. And until our next video, thank you so much. God bless you. Love and light to all. Bye-bye.